Let's talk about Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher. I'm sure you've heard of him, but do you know how he died? We talk about commitment. Let's talk about how actually committed Socrates was. Because everybody says they're committed. They're committed to winning. They're committed to goals. They're committed to success. But here's the question. Are you committed when it costs you something? Because commitment that doesn't cost you comfort isn't commitment. That's convenience. And there's no better example of real commitment than Socrates, the philosopher who drank poison rather than betray his truth. Ancient Athens, Socrates was known as a troublemaker, not because he caused problems, but because he asked questions. He challenged politicians, priests, scholars, exposing ignorance, forcing people to think. His method wasn't about being right, it was about discovering truth. But truth makes people uncomfortable, and comfort hates change. So one day, the city of Athens put Socrates on trial. The charge, corrupting the youth and disrespecting the gods. The real crime was teaching people to think for themselves. And even today, powerful people don't necessarily want you thinking for yourselves. So, when found guilty, Socrates was sentenced to death by drinking a cup of poison called hemlock. His friends begged him to escape. Not only did they beg him to escape, they had arranged for his freedom. They told him, leave, you can start over somewhere else. But Socrates refused. He said, if I leave, I betray the very principles I've lived for. His commitment. He chose death over dishonor. He chose truth over safety. He chose integrity over opportunity. Think about that. Socrates was willing to die, not for money, not for fame, not for approval, but for the truth he believed in. Socrates knew something most people never learn. If your values disappear when pressure comes, they were never actually values, just preferences. Commitment means you're willing to stand firm even when it costs you everything. In today's world, commitment isn't tested by poison. It's tested by distraction, by convenience, by comfort. You say you want success, but do you turn off the TV when it's time to study? You say you want growth, but do you show up when no one's watching? You're all in. You said this right, but do you mean it when it's not easy? Socrates didn't have followers. He had disciples of discipline. People who learned that true freedom comes from commitment, not options. When the guards brought him the cup of poison, Socrates didn't flinch. He didn't panic. He didn't beg. He simply said, I owe a debt to the truth, and today I pay it. As he drank, his students wept, but he smiled because he lived his truth without compromise. That's commitment. Not convenience, not talk, not when it's popular, but when it's painful. Every one of us will face a cup, a moment where we must choose between comfort and conviction, between fitting in and standing firm, between playing safe and living true. For some, it's giving up sleep for study. For others, it's giving up entertainment for excellence. But for everyone who wants to lead, there will come a moment where your commitment is tested. In that moment, you either drink the cup or you make an excuse. That's what commitment looks like. It's not an easy path. It's the honest one. So next time you're tempted to give up, to quit, to compromise your standard, remember Socrates drank the poison and walked into eternity with peace. Because real success isn't measured by what you achieve. It's measured by what you refuse to betray. Drink your cup, stay true, commit completely, even when it costs you everything.